I've installed over 50 mods on Red Dead Redemption 2, and today we're going to see what happens. Mods of all kinds, improved textures, grass, characters, sound, much more realistic wildlife, immersive and highly believable scenarios, and even a mod that adds a whole new part of the map in Mexico straight from Red Dead Redemption 1. We'll save that one for the end. In short, these are all mods that significantly improve the game because yes, even though it's already amazing as it is, you'll see that there are a lot of little details that can be taken even further. Here's hoping my PC doesn't explode since I don't have a nuclear power plant. Subscribe if you enjoy my content and let's begin. And of course, we'll start with what you've been waiting for the most, the mods that improve the graphics. The first one is definitely a must-have, Visual Redemption. It's a huge mod that completely reworks the weather conditions, improves the draw distance, adds shadows for each type of weather, reduces the intensity of the fog, fixes the lighting, improves water reflections, adjusts the position of the moon, and much more. Honestly, it's an essential mod if you want to take your game to a whole new visual level. Do you really think the game looks good? Yes, it does, but only from a distance. Because when you get up close, yeah, it's not great. And to fix that, I have a few solutions. First, increase geometry, level of detail. This mod increases the geometric level of detail for objects, NPCs, and vegetation even at long distances. As a result, on your screen, the image looks much sharper, more precise, and visually much richer. And to top it all off, extreme grass, which significantly increases the density of grass and plants for a much more natural and immersive look. No more little clumps scattered everywhere, now it's dense and lush, it completely changes the atmosphere and it's beautiful. And honestly, just with these graphic mods, the game almost feels like you're playing Red Dead Redemption 3. And keep in mind, we're only on the 4th one. And before we go any further, here are 2 essential files you need to be able to play with all these new mods. First, the NS mod loader, which will simply allow you to load the other mods. Without it, nothing works. And then 6RDR2, SpawnFix, a mod specially designed to allow large texture mods to work together. It will prevent crashes, texture bugs, NPCs disappearing, and so on. And everyone be careful, these mods aren't all compatible. I'm sharing all the ones I use since that's the video's theme, but they don't always work together. Make sure to test everything before downloading everything and making everything crash. Next, beta swamp trees and dense tall trees. It greatly improves the forests in the tall trees and Lemoyne swamp regions. These forests become denser, more detailed, and simply closer to real forests. Do you also find that the character textures are sometimes a bit questionable? You can really tell that the game is more than 7 years old. That's why there's Character Texture Overall, a huge mod created with passion that improves the faces and clothing of all characters, both main and secondary, giving them better quality and a much cleaner final look. And honestly, it changes everything. It's the same for the animal's fur. From a distance, it looks pretty nice, but as soon as you zoom in, yeah, that's hard on the eyes. I'm definitely going to have to put my glasses on. Fur Fix improves the fur of all furry animals by increasing the details and light reflections, which gives a softer, silkier, and above all, more realistic look. Next, there's Particles. At first, I thought it was secondary, but actually, it turned out to be absolutely essential. This mod improves all the particle effects in the game, the sound of the train, the fog, the dust, the explosions, the flames, and so on. Look at that beautiful campfire. It makes me want to roast myself a sausage over it. It makes the game more immersive, and honestly, it's awesome. If you think the game isn't gory enough, that there's not enough dismemberment and blood for you, Bloodlust is here. It's a mod I love for making the blood more realistic. More blood particles, more blood pools, more blood in melee combat, more blood during executions, more dismemberment, in short, more of everything. It's perfect if you want gore. I don't use it in my videos, or YouTube makes things difficult for me. Period accurate currency. He transforms the appearance of banknotes to restore their authentic period design. It's definitely a small detail, but if you're into 100% realism, it's a nice little bonus mod. Let's continue with 4 really cool mods to change the appearance and speed of the interface. Color Red Loading. Displays loading screen images in color. It's simple, but it makes a difference. Colorful weapon icons. Recolor all the weapon icons in the interface. Again, a bit of color doesn't hurt. Beautiful dark minimap. Gives a darker and more elegant style to the minimap. It's really well done. And finally, not essential but super handy, snappy UI. Seriously, why is the menu navigation so slow? What is this? Am I playing on a Switch 2 or on a $3,000 PC? Damn it. With snappy UI, everything becomes fast and smooth in the menus, and that's exactly what I'm asking for. Now that I've given you a quick overview of the more or less graphical mods, let's move on to those that change the gameplay. And believe me, there's plenty to talk about here too. No kill cam filter. It simply removes the black and white filter during kills or when you die. Personally, I find it more pleasant without that forced, somewhat dramatic black and white effect. Would you like the mud and dirt to stay on your face longer? Well, not me. But if that's your thing, here's persistent and natural dirt. With this mod, the dirt on your body won't disappear until you've taken a bath. Speed limit remover. Finally, we can go full speed with our horse in camps, towns, and on bridges. It really annoys me when the game automatically makes you slow down in those places. Now I can just boom, run over all the passers-by. Dog Companion will let you adopt almost any dog you come across in the game. Just pet him and he'll follow you everywhere, ready to protect you. Finally, we get a truly loyal companion. This should have been in the base game. Improve wildlife drastically enriches your experience with the wildlife. The spawn rate of animals is improved and species that move in groups, like birds for example, are more frequent and better managed. Scavengers feed on carcasses much more often. In short, lots of really cool additions to enrich the wildlife that I'll let you discover in the game. Do you want to hear Arthur sing? No? Well, that's okay, because with Sing, you can enjoy Arthur's magnificent tenor voice wherever you want.
Forsaken country they call Minnesota.
With Immersive Guarma, you can return to the island of Guarma, where you are taken prisoner at one point in the story. Personally, I thought it was a shame that we couldn't explore it more freely or in greater depth. Thanks to this mod, you'll be able to explore it from top to bottom. By the way, I made an incredible video thanks to this mod on Guarma. Seriously, it's the best video on YouTube. Feel free to go check it out. If you want a bit more roleplay, there's Roleplayer Dreams. It unlocks a lot of actions, like working on the farm, playing an instrument, smoking, sleeping on a mattress, cleaning your weapon, sitting down, and so on. It's not essential, but it adds immersive interactions that are otherwise pretty limited in the game. Let's talk about lanterns. And then honestly, it's crap. There, I said it, and it sucks, especially because it forces us to give up one hand when we use them. With Stashes Atlanti, that's over. Arthur now hangs his lantern on his belt, which leaves both your hands free. It can even be attached directly to your horse. And that's when it really becomes practical. Western Euphoria Ragdoll Overall completely changes the physics of the characters during fights. The animations are much smoother and more varied. Each weapon causes a different reaction in the NPCs. Falls are more natural and more flexible. No more rigid, repetitive movements, and honestly, it makes all the difference in fights. You can have fun shooting different body parts with various weapons to see the effects. A bit more immersion never hurts, and for that, here's Basic Needs Final Cut. This mod adds thirst, hunger, urination, exhaustion, equipment weight, and plenty of other features. You can now drink from rivers to avoid dying of dehydration. It's a really cool mod for a more survival-oriented approach, and I use it regularly in my videos. Abandoned Wagon adds new abandoned carts all over the map. They already exist in the vanilla version, but now there are more of them and with more interesting details around them. It enriches the map, and that's never a bad thing. Open Hall Interior. Honestly, I love this. It's the kind of mod that lets us access places we're not supposed to go anymore, or even places we were never supposed to go at all. For example, Angelo Monti's Manor, Shady Bell, the prison, the Moonshine Bar, and many others. It adds more places to discover that we might not have visited in free roam, and that kind of freedom is really enjoyable. Bad damage overall. It makes the fights much more dynamic and varied. NPCs react differently when they get hit. They can stumble while running with an injured leg, writhe on the ground, groan in pools of their own blood. It adds diversity to the fights, and that's always cool. How is it possible that the developers didn't add basic bank robberies? You can become the biggest hooker in the West, but robbing a bank? No. That really annoys me. Fortunately, with St. Jean Bank or robbery, you can now rob the 5 banks in the game. It makes sense, it's well integrated with the game's art style, and honestly, well, it's cool. Same problem with properties. Why can't we have our little house in the countryside? Painting it, upgrading it, customizing it, that's exactly what Buyable Properties offers. Whether it's an apartment in Strawberry or a house out in the wilderness, you can finally buy your own place and customize it however you like. So for me, the problem in the video is that I couldn't buy a house even though they did spawn. It's simply because it must have bugged with other mods I installed. As I mentioned, some mods may be incompatible, so you'll need to test them. However, the mod works fine. I've used it in other videos. Gunmetal rework. Improves the overall appearance of firearms. The grips, the barrels, the finish, and even new purchase options. In short, it's honestly pretty comprehensive. It adds character to the weapons, and in first-person view or with camera modes, it looks really great. Let's move on to the weapons. This one's realistic. Weapon audio. It completely changes the sounds of gunfire. Personally, I don't think it's necessarily better than the vanilla version, which is already very solid, but it does bring something new to the sound we've already heard 10,000 times. Weapon loadout. Dismounting lets you keep all your equipment when you get off your horse. So loadout dismounting lets you keep all your equipment when you get off your horse. Yeah, it breaks immersion, but I hate always using the same weapon just because I left my sniper rifle on my horse. Plus, that hoofed bastard ran 10 kilometers away after getting scared by a gunshot. Now at least no more problems, it's sorted, I always have everything on me. In the same vein as Roleplayer's Dream, Immersive Scenario offers thousands of animations normally reserved for NPCs. You can now play the piano, sit on a ledge, lean against a wall, sleep on the ground, work, and so on. Both mods are quite similar, with a few differences. It's up to you to test which one you prefer, and be careful, they can't be used together. If you enjoyed the Stagecoach Robberies, Sage Stagecoach Robberies is made for you. New Stagecoach Robbery missions appear all over the map. They're varied and well integrated, even if, at the core, the principle is always the same, robbing stagecoaches. Do you also think it's dumb that you can't make money any other way than by killing everyone? Luckily, Jobs mode is here. Become a miner, hunter, train conductor, bartender, and earn your money honestly. It adds a bunch of immersive odd jobs that let you earn a bit of money here and there, and it's crazy that Rockstar didn't add this in the base game. We're sticking with the same vibe with Transport AMGM. It's an ultra-complete mod that lets you buy your own wagon, stagecoach, or boat. Customizable, and you can transport people or goods to make a living. You can also fly hot air balloons, work in grocery stores or hotels, recover stolen cargo, hire NPCs, and so on. The mod is really huge, definitely a must-have to add more content. Want to become a gang leader? The mod lets you create your own gang, which will be different depending on the region you choose to live in. You can upgrade your camp, your weapons, the number of members, and launch heist or escape missions, and many more. And what's cool is that there's really a progression system within the gang. The more missions you do, the more money you earn, the more members you get, the better your weapons, and so on. Combined with other immersive mods, it can really offer a few extra hours of fun. Personally, I love stealing from old ladies in the street, and now I can do it in the game thanks to Pickpocket. Sneak up on NPCs to steal their money and items. But be careful, if they catch you, the police and a punch in the nose are guaranteed. It's useful when you're really out of cash. Bandit Hideout. This mod adds 143 new bandit hideouts, 50 ambush points, a gang of bandits on horseback who will chase you, and random wandering bandits. It will also allow you to hire up to 9 henchmen in the saloons. It's a cool mod to add some variety and action around the map, but personally, I think it's a bit too much at times. There are really gangs everywhere, and often at the points of interest you want to visit, so it makes things a bit chaotic. Kind of in the same vibe as Bandit Hideout, Bandit Ambient Gang adds new gangs that roam the regions, attack other groups, and create dynamic events. More interactions, more diversity, more chaos. Personally, I prefer it to Bandit Hideout because it's better managed. There are fewer gangs everywhere, it fits better with the game's art direction. In the same style, Bounties Expansion. It lets you become a bounty hunter with new missions on the map, capture outlaws, and bring them back to the sheriff. But be careful, other bounty hunters can steal your contracts. For me, that just gives me another reason to take out even more people. There you go. It's so frustrating that I can't camp wherever I want. If I want to camp on the roof of Valentine, then I'll camp on the roof of Valentine, damn it. With Camp Anywhere, now it's possible to camp wherever you want And the camp is also customizable with, for example, different tents available or more. You can then rebuild your camp somewhere else, pick it up, pack it away. In short, you have almost total freedom. Cinematic Camera 5.3. Without this mod, you probably wouldn't know me from Red Dead. Rockstar didn't add an editor mode like in GTA 5, which is hard to understand given how beautiful the game is. So this mode allows you to create custom cameras. Transition speed, shake, color filter, weather filter, where the character is. Well, anyway, the possibilities are pretty much endless. And without it, I simply wouldn't be able to make my videos. Crime and law rebalance. Now this one is crazy. This mod completely rebalances things. The criminal justice system, for example. It changes the behavior of the police and gangs, how your crimes are perceived depending on their severity, and the reactions and fighting styles of gangs are different depending on the factions. Really, there are mods like this, like the one I mentioned before, Transport AMGM, that change so many things in the game. It's pretty incredible. Check out his page and see what he offers. It's very comprehensive. Red Dead Free Cam 1.4. A bit like cinematic camera, but more focused on free movement around the map to create beautiful shots quickly. With this mod, you can't do tracking shots or add filters, but you can speed up, slow down, zoom out, and similar actions. Most importantly, it's very convenient for getting around quickly. Boom, you switch to free cam mode, you go to a spot quickly by pressing E, and then once you're where you want to be, you press the same key again and it'll make you spawn at that spot, instant. It's not essential for everyone, but for me, it's super convenient. And we finally get to the last 3 mods, including one that's clearly essential for this, for having fun, and even for everything else, and I have to say, Rampage Trainer. A mod that basically lets you do everything, really. You can change the weather, unlock all the clothes, shoot explosive bullets, spawn NPCs, become invincible. If you want to shoot cows, well, you shoot cows. There you go, I don't know, you can do whatever you want. If you're bored in Red Dead, experiment with the settings and explore, you'll quickly find some fun. And finally, the last 2, Nuevo Paraíso Mexico and Mexico on minimap. Nuevo Paraíso recreates a part of the RDR1 map and integrates it into RDR2 with reworked towns and environments. It's not a new game within the game, but it freshens things up with new places and missions to explore. Clearly, it changes a whole part of the desert on the map by transforming it into a Mexico-style area. If you've played RDR1, it'll bring back memories. It's amazing, and all of this is free. And then, Mexico on minimap simply allows you to properly add 7 areas from Mexico onto the game's map. And that's it. This time, that's really all. Of course, there are still plenty of other mods, but here you have the essentials of what I'm likely to use. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week. Bye.